Yesterday, we had a chance to hear from Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti and general manager Eric DeCosta. They had a press conference that lasted over an hour, and they provided tremendous insight into this team and the future of this organization. Now, a big topic of conversation, of course, was the team's search for their next head coach. The Ravens are going through an exhaustive process right now to find the team's next coach, and Bisciotti provided insight into what the Ravens are looking for in this candidate. And something that stood out to me is that he is certainly open to bringing in a former head coach to come in and take this job. There's a lot of candidates who the Ravens have interviewed already and on the list still to be interviewed who have coached elsewhere as head coaches in their career. Bisciotti talked about the possibility of going that route with this hire.
Unlike 18 years ago, I am very intrigued by coaches that were the hottest offensive and defensive coordinators 5, 6, 7 years ago in their cycles and got jobs and went to teams that were non-competitive and didn't have a quarterback. And they grind for 3 or 4 years, and they're caught up in the cycle of many of my partners. You know, the one thing that I know that I will probably take it on the chin is if our final candidate is an ex-coach who has a losing record, and you all are going to have to understand that we are going to be able to judge that failure with his circumstances and marry that up and not disqualify them. So where we are, I could say I'm disqualifying coaches with losing records, but I think you have to remember that they were the hottest coaches in their cycle, and they got jobs and they got tough jobs. And I don't think we have a tough job. I think that we created the best opening in this cycle. That was the one category that I didn't want to ignore, because the first thing you all are going to say is, my God, he went 38 and 48 in his last job and they're hiring him. And so it would be very easy for me to try and avoid those ex-head coaches because they have losing records. But I'm telling you, we are keen to their circumstances, and we won't let their first shot at a job influence us negatively for this one.
Now, as I mentioned, the Ravens have talked with, or reportedly will talk with, a number of candidates who have been head coaches elsewhere in their career. Included on that list is Brian Flores, Kevin Stefanski, Vance Joseph, Cliff Kingsbury, Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel, Jim Schwartz, and Matt Nagy. And there could be others that come up over the course of this process. Now look, I also will point out the Ravens aren't pigeonholing themselves into any specific route. There's also a number of candidates on the list who have not been head coaches. So the Ravens are conducting an exhaustive process. They are casting a wide net, and they're going to consider all possible solutions to come in and find the right person to lead this team at this time. Now, I also encourage you to go back and check out that full press conference from yesterday. Like I said, it was really enlightening. We've got it posted for you in its entirety on our app, our website, as well as our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.